It's so loud today. Grand Rising. It's holiday break. The kids is like on 20 right now, I feel like. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Hold on, I'm trying to put Q&A. Grand Rising. Peace, 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 everyone coming in. So this morning we are doing our Q&A. For God is Awakening. So this is for the God is Awakening class. God is Awakening 1 and 2. Yes, it's a live for the class. So we could talk about where y'all are at. I've talked to most of y'all. I still got a few more people to talk to see kind of how y'all are progressing through your charts, your human design. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to move this stuff so Isis won't be knocking stuff over. So it's that if you are hopefully moving through, you should be closer to the end where we're talking about healing, intention setting, stuff like that. If you are okay, Kiki, go ahead and ask the question. And then if you are in part two, you should be dealing more with your magical tools is I think what I named that section. Transmutation, things of that nature. So let me know where y'all are at in your studies or not. I know I want to kind of go over the importance of using the information that y'all got for your natal charts and your human design charts, and how to use that information when you are creating your things like your spiritual baths, when you are creating your candle magic, if possible. If you a basic idea, because I didn't really get into it like that in part one. How to use your moon cycle and what moon you were born under. Things of that nature. All right. Since the new moon is coming, I need to do some releases that codependency being okay. Yes, you can do the sigil for the release. Remember, all of this is about intention. So if you know you need to release before this new moon, definitely make sure to release what it is. So when you get ready to set your intentions to manifest, that you're manifesting intentions from a very clear space, okay? The thing about setting intentions for what we need to bring in is all about making sure that you have a clear mind and heart. That way you are asking for stuff that you really need and not what your ego needs, okay? And for you to focus on yourself. Do like business. Yeah. Kiki, that's perfect. I'm glad you got that revelation out of that, because that's exactly what you need to do. The biggest thing, especially if you're in Goddess Awakening 1, you should understand, and I think this is a lifelong journey, the biggest thing that we all have to do is learn to heal. Grand Rising, beloved. Heal. The healing part is so important, and the reason the healing part is so important is because it helps you when you're navigating this journey. I'm actually going to tie this into your question. I don't want to jack your name up. Sharian, Shishi. We're going to call you Shishi, about the ego. The biggest important thing about healing is like, as you're navigating, the more that you heal and you're being very intentional on healing your trauma, your childhood dynamics, things that you've experienced throughout this journey, that might have led you to the point where you say, hey, something's got to change. Something has got to shift in my life because I don't want to repeat this cycle. I don't want to go through this again. Most of the time, that's what leads us. It's always something traumatic or trauma based that tends to lead us to healing or tend to lead us to a spiritual walk or journey. I know people who have been on this journey, including myself, that have been on this journey, and it took a minute for us to actually do the healing work. And because we weren't being intentional about doing the healing work and more concerned about learning this, and this, when these things and cycles was repeating in our lives, everybody is turning a blind eye. You tend to turn a blind eye to your patterns and things that are coming up. Like, oh, okay, well, this happened to me when I was probably 4, and now I'm repeating the cycle. So it's really important for y'all to discover the root of why you might be repeating that cycle. Why is that habit tending to come into your life? Why you keep picking the same type of relationships? Why you keep being in dead-end jobs or jobs that you know are not fulfilling for you? Why do you keep having people who are takers around you and not, okay, having people who are going to pour into you the way that you pour into them? Okay, so being very mindful of the energy that you put into yourself is so important. And how does that lead into our ego? The ego, I like to say, is our fleshy self. The ego is the person that sits on your shoulder, and when you get ready to do something that's right, when you get ready to do something that is more in alignment with your higher self, that ego is the person that's going to rationalize and justify your ass to not do it. The ego is going to be the one, the energy that tries to convince you that you're not worthy, that tries to convince you of the negative self-talk. Or the ego will hype you up to make you feel cocky in a sense, but not in a positive sense. Cocky in the aspect of you feeling like you're better than other people. Cocky in the aspect of it's being more detrimental. So the ego can be a very tricky character, because when you are definitely doing some wrong crap, the ego is the one that's going to try to hype you up and make sure that you feel okay about doing the wrong crap. Your higher self is the one that is like, you know that ain't what you're supposed to be doing. Your higher self is the one that triggers all the emotions, knowing that what you're doing is wrong, but you still do it anyway when you're in that healing phase. So you have to be very intentional. This is why I tell y'all to sit still a lot. Be very intentional on sitting still so you can hear. Are you operating from your ego self, or are you operating from your higher self? Ego is always going to be the one that wants to try to keep you from your higher self. Ego is a distraction. Ego will make other voices appear. Ego will try to distract you when you're trying to meditate. Ego is the one that is making your leg wiggle or feel like it's tingling, or all of a sudden now your leg hurt when you're in the middle of trying to be still. It's distractions. So you have to really identify in yourself when you're sitting with yourself. Okay, am I really sitting in my I am, or am I sitting with the energy of all the other dynamics? Because you're still connected to the physical world. So that's the best way I can say is ego is that flesh need. Ego is the physical presence. Your higher self is the spirit. Okay. After you figure out why, the next step is how, right? Yep. Yes. So I want to read your whole thing. You said, after you figure out why, the next step is the how, right? How do I operate now? How do I act after I realize my past patterns don't serve you anymore? Absolutely. So once you identify what your behavior is, once you identify what the trigger is, then you have to go into a space of, let me heal this trigger. Let me identify what my problem is. Let me heal it. Let me understand why this is here. And a lot of this is going to be tied. This is why I'll be really adamant about y'all learning y'all natal charts and y'all learning your human design charts. Because if you know what your Chiron is, like for me, my Chiron is in the house of relationship and it's in the sign of Taurus. But for me, there was a lot of different patterns that I was repeating in my behavior that was connected to my Chiron. But I didn't realize that because I didn't know. So that the aspect of always having one foot in a relationship and one foot out, because I'm like, you know, always picking people who were beneath me, and not to say it, I don't want people to take that the wrong way, but it is what it is. I would pick people that I would have to fix. I would pick people that I had to heal. I would pick people that were not on the same level I was. And this was not only in my relationships, but this was also in my friendships. So you have to identify, like if you have a Chiron in the house of communication, this will trigger issues with you feeling like you're not being understood. You're to have issues where you can't communicate effectively what it is that you're trying to say. And you are a person who is supposed to, you know, share your knowledge, share your information, share something that is of value, but you have to master how you communicate. You have to master how to deliver that message. Okay. You might have a Chiron in the first house. Chiron in the first house, people, if you don't know that they have a Chiron in the first house, you'll feel like they're vain or superficial because they're always concerned about their presence. They're always concerned about how they are presenting themselves to the world. Okay. But it don't never be nothing wrong with them. Like other people who don't have Chiron in the first house, we'll be looking at them like, why are you always talking about how you look? Why are you always talking about how, you know, you need to get in the gym or you need to go do this? Like we will not understand why they're so obsessed with their physical presence, and it's an energy of not wanting to be rejected. It's the energy of always wanting to be liked by other people. It's the energy of them not feeling their self-worth or their self-value to the extent that they should be. Okay. So you definitely have to, you know, learn how to sit down. How do you find out? Chiron, your Chiron, you can find that on astro.com. Make sure y'all pay attention that when you are putting the information in astro.com, you make sure what style. You want to make sure that it's Western astrology. So it'll line up with whatever chart you already have. You said you don't pick CJ, very odd. You said those type of people will gravitate to you. It's not that those people they gravitate. They gravitate to you, but also people who have higher caliber. I always tell people you gravitate everything that you are. Okay, you gravitate everything that you are. So you'll gravitate people who are a reflection of where you are at that moment. You'll gravitate people who are lower than the reflection that you are at that moment, and you'll gravitate people who are higher than all of that. The key is, are you using your discernment to say, let me pick people who are going to pull me up or that is going to add on. A lot of times, especially with women, we are nurturers by heart. So we automatically go into picking that person that is a little lower in our caliber. That's a needy person. Okay. And that needy person is who we normally grab. Like we'll have, true story, I have always had these two dynamics. I'm going to tell y'all, it's so funny because not until my relationship now did I realize that I was doing this. I always have the doctor, lawyer type, somebody that's on a certain level, have a certain image in society, have everything together, right? Finances together, career together, all of that. And then I have that starving artist type. Okay. My chemistry is always going to be attracted to the starving artist type. And I used to be mad because I'd be like, why I can't have this chemistry with this doctor, lawyer, heart surgeon type dude? I'm always going to be drawn to the one who is the starving artist, creative, artsy type, because I'm an artsy type. I never was a starving artist, but I was an artsy, creative type. So my mind would be like, let me be with this person because we can help each other. We can grow together. I always wanted to be in this, let's build this empire together, instead of being in the relationship because this person was in a better position, honestly, to help, to add on, but because I didn't have chemistry with them, I didn't feel that connection. But that's part of my Chiron. I'm not going to feel that connection to that person. I'm always going to be drawn to this person because there's something that was off. Like there's a gateway. And this is when you get into your human design chart and understanding why certain people you're going to be drawn to, because that love gateway is open. That love gateway is the opposite of each other. So my love gateway was always connected to people who were in need of my service or in need of my help or in need of who I was. I was like, So when I counsel everybody else, I'd be like, you have to figure out what you need. Do you want to experience love and chemistry and roller coasters? Or do you want somebody who is going to help you grow? That's your choice. And then maybe you'll get both of them when you start changing your perspective. When you change your perspective on who you are. When you change your perspective on what they tell us love is. Okay? So, learn. Understand what them charts is trying to tell y'all. It's trying to save y'all a lot of heartache and pain. Is it okay to have a budget so you can come out of the cycle of not having money? Absolutely. It's in your best interest to have a budget. It's in your best. If you are, especially if you have like Chiron and Taurus, which kind of takes away. It'll bless you with money, but it'll take it away too. If you have that type of energy going on, or Uranus sitting in the sun, like in your house of finance, what you want to do is get an accountant. You want to hire people that are going to be in alignment with helping you. This is why that's why we got paid professionals. Okay? You want to be in a space where when you recognize, this is why I want y'all to know this information. When you recognize, okay, I got a Chiron in the house of communication, maybe. Okay? That's your Chiron. Okay, well, take classes, read books, empower yourself with knowledge on how to communicate effectively, the art of communication. Okay, those are the things that you want to try to pull yourself into. If you know that you have an issue with, if you know you have an issue with, like I said, finances, I mean, you need to hire you an accountant. You need to hire you someone that is going to help you with your finances. That's the whole point. To identify, if you know that Chiron is your lifelong challenge, boom. How do we heal it? We understand what the root is. We understand why we got that challenge. And then on top of that, we're going to put things in place that's going to empower us. So that could be information. That could be another paid expert that's going to help guide you in that space. Okay? Don't feel like you can't ask people for help. Or you can't, find ways to counteract, because the whole point is to heal the wounded healer. Chiron is all about the wounded healer. So it's there to teach you a lesson, but it's also there for you to master how to heal it so you can help others who have the same issue as you. Okay? This is why I probably know way too much about relationships. I know way too much about relationships because of, that was my Chiron, is really mastering and understanding why I was the way I was in relationships, not just my, intimate relationships, but even my friendships. Okay. Anybody else got any other question? What was I talking about before I went on my ego tangent? Healing. That's what I was talking about. Make sure that y'all taking the time to heal at your own pace. There's no magic destination. There's no, and I know at the end of Goddess Awakening 1, I really wanted to harp on the energy of, I really want y'all to make sure you're taking time to heal. personal issues, personal dynamics. That's way more important than you knowing how to, do a candle, dress a candle. That's way more important than you knowing the Orishas. A big key to this journey is being able to walk in your own healing. Okay. You understanding, like I said, the root of some of the issues that you might be having and what it is that you need to do in order for you to move past that point. It's very important that y'all understand, Grand Rising everybody, how to use the information to just put you in a space that you're being very intentional. Is healing a part of that? Absolutely. So that means doing that shadow work. That means, doing the inner child healing, which is a hard segment if you don't know, or if you haven't experienced it. It tends to be one of the harder healings, I believe. That means, like I said, understanding what your Chiron is. Understanding when you have prolific planets in certain places that maybe make you repeat certain behavior and you not understanding why. Like you might have Neptune in your second quadrant. And if it's in that second quadrant, a lot of times y'all tend to hold on to grudges and grief a lot longer than anyone else. Okay. Ooh, you got Chiron in the sun, being in Virgo. Ooh, in the 10th house. That's a lot, girl. That's a lot. It's a lot going on. Is healing a part of... Okay, I read that one already. How do you heal your soul? So, there's no one size fit all for anyone. Let me say that. I think I said that in the class too. There's no one size healing for anyone. Okay. And the reason I say this is because I'm a projector. So there's ways that I connect the stuff and I can see how things come together quicker than maybe a generator. Okay. There's stuff that I'll connect with and understand like this is how it is. And somebody else might be feeling like it's way harder than that. And I'll be like, no, the hell it ain't. It's not. You making it hard. The easiest way for you to heal yourself is change your perspective and how your mind is processing the energy. A lot of times y'all are having a hard time healing. It's because your perspective is tainted, which is ego. Okay. When your perspective is tainted, then you're looking at it like, oh, I can't heal because this is in the way. All right, this will take a long time. I hear people say all the time, it take too long or it's too hard. And I'll be like, no, it's not. Be intentional. Every day you got to be on something. If you're creating this spiritual ritual in the morning, the spiritual ritual before you go to bed, you're being very intentional on how you are healing your mind, body, and soul. Make sure you are putting things in your life that is going to shift who you are. And that does mean, no, you can't keep eating them cupcakes or them Krispy Kreme donuts as much as you might love them. But they have a lower vibration energy. And if you are trying to shift yourself out of being toxic, out of negative behavior, then guess what? You got to change your diet. It's that simple. You got to fast. You got to detox. I'm not saying that you got to stay on a certain type of diet, but I am telling you that you have to be in a space that will keep you in a high vibration energy. The more that you make this vessel heavy, the harder it is for you to fight against other dynamics. Okay? You sitting there eating French fries loaded with grease, you know that damn is going to bring your vibration down. If you sitting there eating cheese and it's got toxic stuff to it, bring it forward. You can't do it. You have to get into a space where you're being very disciplined about what you're putting in your body so your vibration can get up. And then you can start to pay attention, like when I eat this, I know I need to go do this so I can get this out my body. But in the beginning stages, y'all got to stop eating all that crap. Quit drinking all that stuff. You sitting here smoking weed and drinking alcohol, Those are dynamics that are intentionally to bring your vibration down. Stop using it. Okay? Stop using it. Stop being in a space where you are wanting to live in the gray area. A lot of times we want, and that's ego. I think I just told somebody this yesterday. Ego is when you are justifying the gray area, which is our comfort zone. Higher consciousness is knowing specifically that this is right and this is wrong. And you don't create a gray area. You know the difference. Okay. You're welcome. Yeah, eating out is don't do it to yourself. Hold on, I'm trying to there are so many books. Somebody asked me what books. Heal Thyself, or that's Heal My Life, but Heal Thyself is a great one. Sacred Woman for Women is an amazing book to help you start that process. A Course in Miracles is Christian based, but it is one of my favorite books. Okay. A Return to Love, Mastery of Self-Love. Like, it's so many books out here by either Don Miguel or Queen Afua. Got like several books that is intentionally trying to help heal you. The Matuna Tear series helps you. Matuna Tear is a heavier read, I believe. It can get a little wordy, and they could have simplified some of the text in that. But once you get to a certain point, those are a really good dynamic. Dr. Layla Africa got like many books that deal with not only health, but also deal with patterns and behaviors and conditioning in American culture. You said, where is my book? It's coming. My daughter taking her. She about to make me do my own cover. That's the only part I'm waiting on. That's for her to do the cover. It's about not to have no cover. Yeah, the 4 Agreements is really good. You want to be in a space when you're trying to heal yourself and specifically heal your spirit and your soul. Make sure you're reading books that are geared towards that, geared towards how to love yourself. The one thing that I feel like has been done a disservice is that we were not taught to love ourselves. We were taught that you're supposed to have self-love, but we're not taught how do we operate in self-love. A lot of times we think that we love ourselves, but our choices, our actions, our behaviors do not reflect self-love. They reflect dysfunction. They reflect chaos. They reflect whatever our upbringing was. So you have to be in a space that you're being very intentional about what are you feeding yourself, and are these things that's helping you cultivate and master how to love yourself, because that's the basis of it all. In order for you to heal yourself, you got to love yourself first, more than you love anybody in the whole world. Okay. When you actually master that part, the choices and the decisions you make are a lot easier, and you will start to see your life shift and change. Now, the key part is to recognize and understand, is this a choice that you're making out of self-love, or is this a choice that you're making out of a past behavior or patterned behavior or dysfunction? A lot of times that's the part that messes us up, because a lot of times we're taught to lead with our heart. And even though this is our most powerful organ to do our manifestation work, if you are not raised in a household that taught you better or showed you what that really represents or means, you're going to keep getting into them dysfunctional relationships. You're going to have friends that use you. You're going to pick things that don't serve you. That's why I tend to lean more into diet, because I really want y'all to understand how you choosing to eat an apple over a donut is, even something that simple, is an act of self-love, because you understand what that apple can do for your body and how it nourishes and it helps protect this vessel that you were blessed with, compared to the sugar content and the interesting things that come with that donut that we love to eat so much. Okay. It food being like a really great foundation to start with is so important, y'all. I'm not gonna get on my healing chamber soapbox, but it's so important on how we make choices and decisions until at least you get to a point where you're able to decipher, okay, that you're a little more stronger in your grounding. I know one of the biggest things, and it depends on what, I'm practicing at that moment in time, but one of my biggest things is when I'm trying to connect spiritually, or I'm trying to I know that I need more clarity, I fast, I detox. I make sure that I'm only eating raw fruits and vegetables because I need my vibration to be at its highest. Okay? Oh, Ashe. Healing. Okay. So healing part, you want to just really make sure that throughout this whole journey, no matter what it is you're learning, that you always like section out of time, that you're being very intentional on healing. For my God Awakening 2 people, you should be on your last week. I actually put a bonus section that I'm going to release this week for y'all. It is going to talk about per Ankh, which is how you set, like feng shui, how you set your whole environment up. And it also has a couple of more sections that I actually put in for y'all as a bonus to that thing, because it was only supposed to be a 2-week class, but you know how I do. You know how I do. What about smoothies that cleanse? I was thinking about doing that. You can do smoothies that cleanse. If you're really going to be very intentional, I always tell people to fast and detox. Fast and detox. Okay? The reason, like, do a detox so you can get all the parasites out, so you can really be intentional about cleansing your colon and things that are going to make you addicted. Then do your fast. And, you could pick whatever that time frame is for your fasting that you feel that you could handle at this moment in time. I do suggest that y'all fast at least once a month, okay, whether it's for 3 days or for 7 days. It helps reset the body and cleanse any things that might be going on in your body. If you got health issues already, it's even more imperative that you change how you eat. But make sure you pay attention to what it is that you need to do. There's a lot of detoxes out here. You could just get certain herbs, and it'll detox your body, like burdock root, sarsaparilla, dandelion. You could do dandelion every day, like drink it or eat the dandelion greens. It's a great cleanser. So yeah, you just have to figure out. I always tell people like Hermetic Science or Orion's Oracle, they have like a cosmic colon cleanse that is really, really amazing. It's nasty as hell, but it's amazing as far as the benefits that it has as far as cleansing your body out. All right. So once you do that, then it puts you in a space where after you've done the detox, after you've done your cleansing, after you've done all of those dynamics, then you can go into eating things to live, being very intentional on how you are feeding your spirit and your soul. It's really, really important, y'all. Grand Rising. Any other questions? You're welcome, beloved. What I have done, also Fearless, is like, I always am very intentional on what do I detox. So most of the time, if I'm focused on detoxing the blood, I'll just do like my burdock root. So like if I wasn't going through what I'm going through right now, I would have been taking burdock root to cleanse my blood. I make sure that I cleanse each system individually. So I normally would try to be very intentional on cleansing each system. So when you get to a certain point, everything has had an opportunity to not only be cleansed, but to start healing itself. The body is capable of healing itself. Okay, the body is capable of healing itself if you allow it to. A lot of times we just continue to keep putting toxins in us and we're not healing ourselves. You better stop. You silly Steph. What herb do I recommend for excessive? Ooh, something that is going to cleanse the liver. If you inbox me, I can send you a couple of herbs and food suggestions for liver cleansing. But you want to be specific to cleansing and healing the liver. Even the kidneys will be affected if you are having alcohol issues. And then also discovering, a lot of times when y'all are addicted to coping mechanisms such as alcohol or drugs, there's a root to that. What are you feeling like you have to cope with? What is making you feel like, I know I wasn't never addicted to alcohol or drugs, just because I ain't never like how they make me feel, and I already be feeling as I like to call it, flighty a lot. But one of the things that I remember when I was having issues with my bladders and my kidneys. So if I would go out, like, it would give me a lot of pain. So my coping mechanism was to drink wine. That would be my thing, so it could numb the pain, just so I could hang out with my friends. And this is when I was younger. So that would be my coping mechanism, but that was the root. The root issue was my bladder infection issues. The root issue of that was me being pissed off because I had been violated at a young age. So figure out your root. Everything stems. Your body is giving you a direct signal or warning of what's going on emotionally and physically. Can you detox your spleen? You cannot, not necessarily detox your spleen, but you can help it heal. So there's definitely a lot of different herbs that you can do that's specific to the spleen. And you know, for us splenic people, it is very important for that spleen to be intact. You got Pluto on the 12th? Yes, boo. Don't do no drugs. If you got Venus in certain houses, you can't do no drugs or no alcohol because it makes you more indulgent. If you are very heavily connected to Oshun, you cannot do no drugs or no alcohol because it, or I ain't gonna say you can't do that, but when you are connected to Oshun energy, it makes you want to overindulge. If you have that energy or that sign in your rising house or as part of in your, I want to say your 8th house, it will make you want to overindulge, and you have to be very cognitive of making sure that you don't go overboard, because it'll tend to like make us want to like really get into self-indulgent because we love pleasure. We love things that make us feel good. Okay. Despite the circumstances, but despite the repercussions, we be like, no, I'm going all in. And that all in and had your ass on the floor. Today I was feeling, I'm trying to read your thing, like crap, but I was eating crap. When you feeling like crap, 9 times out of 10 you eating something that you know you ain't have no business eating. When you are eating things and drinking things, like I said, these things have a direct effect on our bodies. And if you live in America, because everybody don't live here, but this culture has taught us to be very indulgent, okay, of things that don't serve us. And you have to really start to get real with yourself and say, is this worth it? We have been gifted this wonderful vessel to carry out our mission in this lifetime, okay? It is very important, especially when you walk in the spiritual journey, no matter what part or who you are in the spiritual journey, for you to take care of this vessel and understand on how important it is to you in order for you to fulfill your mission. So You have to look at its value totally different than what we've taught. We get a overall basis, to me, of how to care for the vessel, but it's not to help you be at your higher self. It's more to just, keep y'all a slave. That's what they want to do. They can't have a lot of y'all running around woke. Let's be clear. We can't have a lot of y'all running around. Somebody got to be the slave community. Somebody got to be the worker community. If y'all all walking around woke, then what we gonna do? Okay? And I say that very sarcastically. So definitely make sure that you're being very intentional. And my coworkers was like, nah, it's not good for you. And the reason I was going to buy it is because I heard Distill is better. Distill is better. Distilled water is better at this moment in time. Spring water, unless you are very aware of what the source of the water is, you want to stay away from it. So distilled or alkaline water is better. And even too much alkaline water. So I always tell y'all to kind of balance it out. Balance it out. Do not drink one or the other. Y'all got to understand too that there's a market in all of this. The health industry is a $1 trillion industry. So when they realized that they could sell y'all on something like bottled water that you really could filter and process yourself, they gonna sell it to you. They selling it to you now. So you have to be very cognizant of like, what am I buying into? And is it really being beneficial? The reason spring water is not as good for you is because there's a lot of stuff that's been sprayed in our air. There's a lot of dynamics that are going into our water systems, even in natural springs. And that's a lot of toxins to deal with. No worries, Ashley. Listen. So if you're going to, like, I always use distilled water or alkaline water. If I'm just like being lazy, I'll drink, some spring water. Like if I'm somewhere and I know I need water. Because at the end of the day, one of my herbal holistic doctors, she used to always say, I'd rather for you get some water in your system than no water at all. And that's how I look at it. Okay. People look at distilled water as it's bad because they look at it because it doesn't have any nutrients. Distilled water is just basically taking spring water and cleansing it. Taking it through a process. I knew you could jump on the chair. I'm sorry, y'all. Isis be doing the craziest stuff and I'll be like, you gotta be able to do certain things now. I knew you could jump on the chair. Don't you get on our table. Nope. Anyway, distilled water is very, it's better than spring water. I will say that. Some people are going to, disagree. You have to really do what's best for you. See how is it operating in your system. To me, the best way is to still, if you're getting any type of water, you need to take it through a process on your own. Make sure you alkalining your water, putting lemons and limes in there. Isis is bad as hell, y'all. I told her today, I was like, every day is her last day. Let's be clear. Every day I'll be like, you can't stay here no more. You can't stay here. Now she jumping up here in my face. Get down. You stop eating my sage. Oftentimes you will boil your tap water and do the necessary. Yeah, that's what we used to have to do in Germany when I was living in Germany. And we lived on a military base. They used to tell us to either buy the bottled water, which was Evian at the time, or boil the water. So you can process the water the same, and it's gonna just be just as clean as the water that y'all buying from the stores. You just want to bottle it up in glass jars. The thing about the water that we buy at the stores, if you gotta buy water from the stores, please understand that it's not gonna be as pure. Okay, it's not gonna be as pure. Soon as you open that bottle, content is lost. So if it's alkaline water, it might say it's 10 pH, right? Soon as you open the bottle, it's already losing its alkalinity. If you don't drink it within that same day, by that a certain time, that water, you drink is sewer water. It ain't alkaline, it's sewer. You could have just went on and bought you some regular water. So you have to be very mindful of getting caught up in that dynamic. All right. Getting back to my Guidance Awakening 2, like I said, I did post a video called Magical Tools. And I only talk about crystal grids and the importance of crystal grids, but it also talks about transmutation of energy. If I'm not mistaken, I did include something about that. It talks about the importance of sigils and wands and stuff like that. I can't remember what the other part. So make sure that you are being very intentional on taking notes on that particular section and seeing how you incorporate what you already know about yourself, as far as the crystals that are connected to you in your sun sign, in your moon sign, in your rising sign, if needed, knowing how to really surround yourself and protect yourself. Okay. And not feeling like you got to have 100 crystals. You don't need 100 crystals. Please believe you don't. Please believe that you really just need a few. That this spiritual industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, y'all. You see her? Really? Yeah, I'm putting you on blast. I'm putting you on blast. I can't believe this. I'm gonna have to put her in a whole nother room now. Oh my gosh. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry too. So people will sell you whatever they feel like they can sell you. You can go buy these feathers in the damn Hobby Lobby store. You can buy a lot of the spiritual products that y'all be wanting out of a actual what you call it? Get down. I'm done. Out of a actual hobby store. So stop feeling like, see, look at this. This is why I'll be fighting with Isis right now. I was for the last couple of days trying to figure out how did she get up here. Now I know why. This is why. Yes, we talking about you. Don't put your nose up at me. She getting put out. Today is her last day. You don't need all of this stuff. Going back to what I was saying. You don't need all of this stuff. You really don't need none of it. But I don't want to take no money out nobody's pocket. You really don't need none of it. And the reason I say that you don't need none of it is because you are powerful enough by yourself. You are powerful enough by yourself. You don't need all these extra crystals and sage and all of that. If you understand what your true vessel is capable of, which is why it's important for the frequency to get into a certain dynamic, then it'll allow you to connect to the energy without even needing. The crystals is connected to energy, but so are you. Okay? Sage is connected to trigger a certain vibration in the room, but so are you. Candles just represent transformation and fire and all the other elements, but so do you. So do you need all of this? Hell no. Exactly. Our ancestors didn't have no damn spiritual store to go to. They might have had a little witch doctor or something, but they knew who they were. They knew they had the ability to speak life into whatever it is that they were trying to do. They had the ability to create and shift the vibration in the room. You are powerful enough. What I do tell people is that these feathers, these oils, these incense, these crystals help you be more open and receptive to building that energy in you until you have your confidence. They help you become confident in what it is that you're doing. Okay, they help you understand how I need to pay attention to what these pyramids do for me. They help you to connect to a different part of yourself. But once you are walking and standing in that, it's very, very rare now that I am burning candles and doing all that extra stuff. It's very rare. Why? Because I know who I am. The only reason I might do it is because I might know that I need this extra assistance, this extra visual assistance to trick my subconscious into helping manifest whatever it is that I want to do. But you're way more powerful than you know. You don't need all of these extra tools when you really are walking in it. You don't need all of this. When you're walking in it, this is just for show. This just look cute. This just look cute, okay? Not to say it don't put off the same energy. It's not to say that this rose quartz ain't giving me rose quartz healing self-love energy. It is to say that I can't activate the energy that's in this quartz if I don't believe in what it does. So what is that? Exactly, Steph, it's the intention. If my intention said that this rose quartz is supposed to be doing something else, guess what? It's going to do something else. Because why? I'm the power behind. I'm the generator behind it. That's how you have to look at yourself. None of this work. You the energy. You the generator behind it. That's why y'all be killing me talking about, oh, I paid somebody $5,000 to do this. Why you do that? You just gave your money away. What you giving your money away for? Okay? Stop doing it. I do believe in, like I said, per Ankh, I believe in feng shui. I believe in putting things around you and to help cultivate who you are. So when you see these crystals, when you see these feathers, when you see these wands, when you see these different dynamics that make you feel like when you buy stuff like this, because it makes and understands and confirms who you are. It helps you cultivate an understanding and reconditioning who they told you were into who you are. Okay? They told you weren't a goddess. They told you that you were not as strong as you are. They told you that you needed to place your faith and energy into things that were outside of you. And you have to be very mindful as we walk into this energy, into this enlightenment, that you're not continuing to place your faith into things that are outside of you, because you are the real energy. You are divinity. Okay? You are higher consciousness. You are the navigator. You are the navigator of the avatar. All right? Stop thinking that you are less than who you are and placing so much energy into things outside of you. This is why I go back to why I did create Goddess Awakening and Goddess Awakening 1. I want you to understand your own superpower. I want you to understand who you are, what you're capable of, why you chose to come back and learn lessons in how to, in value of money or resources, because that's what I really feel like. It's the value of resources. How do you use your resources? Or in relationships, or in how to be a better, effective communicator. This is a life lesson. This is a journey that you chose to take. And eventually you'll feel like you have mastered all that this particular realm has to offer, and you don't want to be here no more. I honestly believe our projectors and our reflectors are in a different space where we might actually have the option not to come back, because we came back to teach. Unless that soft heart in us decide they want to come back again. Y'all pray for me. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I jump off of here? I don't know what we're looking at on time. We only got a couple more minutes. Couple more minutes. I don't know what time I'm doing new moon readings. It'll probably be the same time, so I won't get off track. 7. Right, 157. You'll make up a damn ritual. We're gonna make a ritual up. You're gonna pay me $5,000. I'll make you a ritual up now. I'm just playing. I always get, like, I have a lot of brothers that contact me from, you know, prison and stuff, and, you know, they be wanting you to do like money rituals and stuff like that for them. And I was like, beloved, I'm not gonna take your money. I'm not gonna take your money, because you can do this. Whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you have the capability of doing it, but you have to also understand what is the lesson that you're supposed to learn in the position that you're in. Okay? Miss Witt, yes. I will make sure that I try to make a list today and post it. Don't you do it. Okay. Yeah, I got to call baby girl so we can go ahead and start on her one-on-one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna actually do, matter of fact, I'm gonna do my next live. We'll do that. We'll talk about cord cutting and why you need to be very intentional on all of that, like energy in general. Manifesting generators, y'all are people who are supposed to create ideals, run businesses, and hand it off. Quit trying to work the business by yourself, wearing all of these daggone hats. Yes, they are by donation. So I'm doing moon readings by donation tonight. Renika, if you could do one today, I could do you at 11. If you want to do one today, just let me know. Inbox me. Yeah. Y'all are my manifestors. Y'all are supposed to be the creators. You're the visionaries. Y'all are able to create so many different ideas, but most of the time y'all don't trust y'all voice. Manifesting generators, y'all got 1,000,001 ideas, but what holds you back is the fact that you're trying to work in your business. Y'all are not only wanting to be the creators, you want to be the worker bee too. You can't do that. Create the business and pass it off. Create you a team that actually works your vision so you can go to the next vision. That's why y'all end up getting frustrated. Y'all ain't supposed to be working for people either. My manifested generators, y'all have a hard time working for other people, because you'll see what's wrong. My generators is the same way. Y'all will see what's wrong with somebody else's business, but generators, the reason that y'all have such a hard time is because you have been raised to be a manifester, but you're not a manifester. You are a generator. Okay? You are the motor and the engine behind society. So because you are the motor and the engine behind society, you have to understand your purpose and why you are the way you are. So I always tell my generators, don't get caught up in the fact that you are a generator and think that, you know, I forgot his name, Ra something. It's like they be thinking that they can't be great. Oprah Winfrey is a damn generator. So you have to be very intentional on what it is that you are doing and redirecting how you think. So my generators, you have to get, basically my generators, y'all are the ones that got to get out your own way. Y'all the main person that stop your own success. Once you learn how to get out your own way, you can accomplish and create a lot that is beneficial to the world. My manifested generators, y'all need to get out your own way too. Quit feeling like you need to do everything yourself. I can do it myself. No, you need to delegate it. All right. Okay, it's count me down. So I will talk to y'all later. I probably, like I said, I think I would just do 7 so everybody is used to me doing that time. So we'll do 7 o'clock for our moon readings. All right. Peace, y'all.